Would like to open the July 15, 2025 Rolla City Council, Rolla Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Everyone should have received their minutes. Anyone have any corrections or additions? All those that wish to accept it, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Report of recent city council actions. Tom?
All right, at the last meeting, you recommended approval of the vacation of portion of 11th Street near Phelps Health Hospital. The city council did end up approving that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Tom? We have one public hearing, the rezoning of 931 Meriwether Road from R3 multifamily residence to public district. At this time, we'll open the public hearing. Tom?
All right. Yes, this is a piece of property that the city of Rolla, through RMU, Rolla Municipal Utilities, recently purchased. It's highlighted in the red. You'll see of note that the entire property is trees currently. But this was a platted lot. The original intent would have been for some sort of apartment building to be built on that, but that was platted decades ago and nothing ever happened with this particular property. It does, however, to be in a good position for a planned water project, or I guess it's actually under construction but a water project in this area for RMU to improve the water pressures. And so what RMU is proposing to build on this piece of property is a water pressure booster station. So basically what that is a building that there'd be a pump inside of it that increases the water pressure. And yeah. So the property is currently zoned R3, and the properties all around it are zoned R3, so the proposal is to zone it to the P Public Zoning District. And the P Public Zoning District is intended for public type uses and also semi-public type uses. So you notice on the map the Audubon Society property, which is nearby, is zoned public because it operates like a park. It's kind of like a private park, but operates like a park. And but it's also intended for things like utilities and things like that. This is a street view looking at the property. This would be looking kind of toward the north-ish on Meriwether Road. Right next to this one, there is an apartment building. On either side of it, there are apartment buildings, I should say. But the area in question would be this area where you see all these trees, kind of. So the area, I'll show you the site plan, but basically the area that you kind of see here with all the trees, the trees would be removed to make room for this building. So this is the site plan. So as I said, the building would be kind of closer to Meriwether Road from White Columns Drive. There'd be a lot of trees remaining, so you wouldn't really see anything for White Columns Drive. And as I said, on the north and south sides, there are apartment buildings. On the north side, it's that building kind of faces White Columns, and so there's a lot of trees next to this building. The one on the other side, different story. That building is closer. So there are some trees on the neighboring property that would remain in place. The comprehensive plan doesn't give us a whole lot of insight onto these types of issues, but basically it encourages, as is needed, improvements to the utilities in the existing developed areas of town. So that's basically to say is wherever we need to do something, we should do it, basically. But these proposed improvements are needed to improve the existing infrastructure and for any potential future developments in that area for the water pressure. Should have minimal impacts to the surrounding properties. This, as I said, this pump is inside of a building. I've got a representative from RMU here to talk about what exactly that means, but in essence, you shouldn't hear anything. You shouldn't really. There's not much activity that happens there. It's just there, and somebody would be there if they needed to repair it or something like that. So once it's in, there's not much that really goes on there. And as you go through this is a little bit different. So as we've got a site plan associated with it. Because it's a city project, there's a portion of the code that basically says that the Planning and Zoning Commission can look at these city projects to make sure it meets the comprehensive plan. But then we've also had the rezoning component of it. So you can take a look at the site plan and recommend and approve the site plan, because it's the approval of the site plan rests with you all, and then recommend approval of the rezoning to City Council. You can approve the site plan with some specified requirements, like if you find that some sort of mitigation is needed to make it fit in better, we could do that. And then recommend approval of the rezoning. If you do that, the City Council does have the ability to take a look at what you recommended as far as any changes. Then you can find that the site plan is not acceptable, and so disapprove the site plan, and so recommend the City Council review the rezoning and the site plan as they go to look at it. If you need more time, you can table it to the next meeting. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions for Tom?
So just make sure I understand, the site plan would only be approved by planning and zoning. Is that what you were saying?
If you're going to approve it, then the city council doesn't need to do it again, basically. If you do anything other than that, like recommend any changes, then the city council could look at that, or if you don't find it acceptable, then the city council can kind of override you. But to override you, it does require a supermajority vote. There's also kind of a political aspect, I suppose, since City Council and RMU, since RMU and City of Rolla they're related, but kind of not. They're separate but related, and so there's some things that can happen if they need to happen, as far as that goes.
But the rezoning portion will go to City Council either way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to make sure I understood that. Thank you.
Now, the whole thing that the map that you showed goes up to White Columns Drive. Does the city now own all of that?
Yes, the property that we're talking, the property where the pump station is proposed, the city does own already. Yes, this site plan right now says Audubon Society, but that lot has been purchased. If that's what you're asking.
Between
Is that what you're
the
asking?
pump station
Okay.
and White Columns Drive, it says Audubon Society.
Yes, that's what I was saying. I think this site plan was produced before that purchase had happened, but the city does own the property now.
Okay, so Audubon has no dealings with it at all?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions?
This is a little bit of the site plan, but I guess is north up on this map. I'm not even 100% sure. Is it?
On the screen, north is up, yes.
Okay, so kind of to the south or the southeast, it's not really showing any trees remaining there. Are they planning on removing, you said on the adjacent property there's trees. Are they removing all the trees on our side of the property or the city side of the property?
That is what the site plan is
And
showing.
is there a reason we need to do that?
I'll have to let the RMU representative answer
Okay.
that one.
Because my main concern, I don't know how much noise they produce. That'd be really my only concern is, are these things loud? Do they make much noise? And if so, what do we need to do to mitigate that issue? So that's mostly what my concern is.
Yep. Yep.
Any questions for Tom? Okay. The public hearing is open. Anyone wishing to come and speak to this issue, please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes. Give your name and address and speak into the mic.
Chad Davis, Engineering Manager for Rolla Municipal Utilities. So, I guess as Tom overviewed this transaction is, we did purchase the property from the Audubon Society in late May. So we have purchased the entire parcel. So that's why the information on the map hasn't been updated yet. So when this was first put together, that map was based upon the current ownership at that point in time. But we did purchase the entire parcel. As far as the trees go, our thought is that we're going to try to minimize how many trees we clear, just for there's no reason to clear trees that we don't need to, for separation, some buffer, anything like that. So, but the logistics of the layout do require that we're going to end up clearing most of the trees along Meriwether Road frontage, but we're going to try to minimize that too. So, because there's no reason to clear a lot of trees any more than we need to. So, so that site plan may get fine-tuned just a little bit more as we get to the point of final design and bidding. But we're gonna try to minimize the amount of trees that we do clear, so. And
Any
as the
questions?
site plan shows, I guess I'll highlight to you that it is gonna be accessed off Meriwether Road. We're not gonna put a drive in off White Columns. There's just too much vertical relief there to justify trying to put a driveway off of White Columns Drive. Be glad to answer any other questions or comments.
Anyone have any questions?
What's the level of noise that you experience with these?
They're gonna be low noise. It's a concrete block building. We put a metal roof on it, is the intent. The back of the building, actually, the west side of the building is gonna be a concrete retaining wall, so we're gonna have a retaining wall on the site. That retaining wall is gonna be integral to the back side of the building. It's gonna have an overhead door, a man door, so there's not gonna be windows and things like that. It's gonna be pretty minimal. And the pumps in there are fairly small pumps also. So, I mean, we have some wells that are 200 horsepower pumps. These are, I wanna say, I should have looked this up better. I wanna say 50 horsepower maybe. And they will be running variable frequency, variable speed. So they won't even be running at full speed all the time. And this is one of 2 pump stations we're constructing, so this pump station won't even be in service all of the time. So it'll be, I don't anticipate any noise issues with it, so. And I think a little bit of that's gonna be because it's gonna be a concrete block building, insulation in the ceiling. I mean, there's just not a lot of noise to come out.
Tom had mentioned probably only accessing it when there's repairs or something like that being needed. I mean, are you thinking weekly, monthly, or is it?
It'll probably be checked daily when it's in operation,
Checked,
maybe even
okay.
a couple times daily. But we do that right now with our wells. We have staff that routinely checks our wells, and generally that goes kind of unnoticed because it's just check it, make sure it's working right, go back on and do something else. So this will be remotely monitored. So most of the operations and monitored will take place remotely. It's not going to be complete. It's not going to be a staffed location or anything like that.
Okay.
It's going to be checked frequently to make sure everything's running all right and nothing's going wrong. But generally, in, out, move on. Once in a while, some maintenance work, but overall, very little activity. Mow the yard and move on.
Any other impacts that we would be not aware of that these have brought up in other locations?
I don't think there should be, so, I mean, it'll be our intent to clear the snow off the driveway, mow the yard, keep it in, we've got our grounds crew that we take care of that kind of stuff, so those type of issues shouldn't be an issue. We already do that for a lot of our other facilities, so should be able to keep it in, clean and presentable, fashion.
Thank you.
You bet, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Tom, do you have anything else on this issue?
Guess I just wanted to say, I think I forgot to kind of say, you see a site plan on this one, like I said, is a little different. You don't normally see those. It's also something that we're wanting to do for, as the city and the ones we can get to cooperate with us, develop new properties, have them come in and we send notices out to the neighboring properties just so they know that something is happening and have an opportunity to provide some input instead of it just kind of showing up on next door to them and they just had to live with it. So that's also part of why we're doing all this.
And you're saying you did do that?
Yes, we did
Okay.
send notices out. We didn't hear from anybody right next to it. I got a call from somebody in the area, but then since it wasn't right next to it, they weren't worried about it once I explained what it was. But
Okay.
Anything else for Tom? Anyone else wish to speak to this issue? Please come forward. If not, we'll close the public hearing. Any other questions or comments from the commission? I'll entertain a motion.
Is it being made as was it 2 motions or can that all be made as 1 motion, Tom? 1 for the site plan and the rezoning, okay.
I'll make the motion to recommend approval of the site plan and the rezoning request.
Anyone wish a second?
Second.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Sherman?
Yes.
Ryder?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Anything else, Tom? We have nothing else. Meeting's adjourned.
Wait.
Now, I did not-
Wait.
Oh.
I just wanted to just point out then the old business that, item that you tabled
Oh,
at the
yeah.
last meeting, the applicant withdrew that request, so just
Oh, I'm
wanted to make
sorry.
sure everybody knew that.
Okay,
Yeah.
now the meeting's adjourned. Now, hey, didn't I tell him not to say anything?